I don't know if I aim this right, if you can see it, maybe by rotating it, but this papery bark is just full of ice crystals. Because I dug all this out, it was all under the snow out there. I'm still going to get in here and I'm just going to collect all this I can, even though it's, had snow on it. All that. It's had the effects of the sun melting the snow, kind of getting in there and soaking it a little bit. But still, because this stuff is just as fine as onion skin paper, if you're old enough to remember what that is, because this is really, really fine, even though there is some dampness to it, I think that we'll still be able to get a fire going without much of any trouble here. The colder the weather, the worse the conditions, the bigger pile of fire starting you want. Because once some wood's got charred a little bit, that kind of thing, usually will start up again pretty easily. So, feeling with this with my bare hands, it's very, very, very damp. But let's see what we can do here. Like I say, it's very fine. So if we can let it get started a little bit here. That's going to be the trick. So what we got to do is let it be able to burn off some of that frost and moisture that's in there. And you have to open it up a little bit at times. And this stuff here is pretty damp. But I think I can dry it out a little bit. Even though that's not flaming right now, that's very, very hot down in there. And sometimes you can just leave some of that stuff down in there like that and just let it percolate a little bit. Because it's very hot. It's just not flaming. But it being hot, I can put some other stuff loosely up on top and let it sit for a little bit. And it'll dry it out gradually. And then we'll have some flames going here. So you can see what's happening down in there, because I got that little ball started, even though it didn't flame that much. It got enough to get a lot of embers in there. And then when I concentrate all those embers and I piled this other wood around kind of in a square with an open hole in the middle, it makes all that heat get trapped in there. Eventually, when everything dries out, it takes right off. All right here you can see I have left an opening. And then this up here, stacked in a square with an open center, creates a chimney. So I have a steady flow of air coming up through here, and you can see it kind of pouring up through there. So here you can see some flames starting. Oh, what's this stuff? Stuff is really soaked, so it's going to take a little bit for it to dry out, but this is a pretty well no-fuss method of doing it. Well, we're starting to get a little bit there. It's coming. Alright, there we go. We have a real fire now. It's caught well enough that it's established and we're good to go. I really like the burn of that cottonwood bark. Those big chunks. Once it gets dried out like it has here, once it gets going, I mean, look how nice of a glow that has. It's a nice calm fire, not a lot of popping or anything like that, but it's a pretty even, well-tempered fire, and it lasts a reasonable amount of time. Well, I'm going to use my HDIX poncho today. We're setting up my camp in the winter here out on the desert. I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to show too much detail with the being, I don't know what time it is, 9 or 9:30 at night now. Okay, so I'm going to use my hammock kit for ponchos here. And since this is an HD poncho, I've got the 24-inch Dyneema runners that I'm going to use. And then I've got shuttle slings, whatever they are, shuttle slings. And my tent stake. So this is what I'm going to use to hang the poncho from the trees right here. Alright, so again, being this is an HD poncho, I'm going to use the 24-inch Dyneema runners, and this works the same way as with any of the other ponchos. You just shove some in and pull back on it, and you just work it on all the way through. Well, this is my sleeping arrangement last night. We got down, I'm out on the desert. It's still winter, the end of February. And we got snow. Got down almost to 0 Fahrenheit last night. It was skirting with it. Well, with the wind that was blowing at times, it was probably below 0. And I've got this one of our new printed camo pattern fleece poncho liners, and I snapped it in over the top of me. And snap this fleece a little more here and throw it back. So inside I had I had a PSBL, the large blanket. So underneath me the Osney, and then I was huddled up inside the PSBL blanket, and over top of that I put my fleece, and once I got in there I snapped it in, you know, part way up. And then that kind of down here on the foot end, that helped hold everything in for my feet to keep everything on the foot end from popping out. And this worked just beautifully last night. Man, it was a comfortable, nice sleep. Nice and warm and everything. I've been toying around here. I gotta work on breakfast here sometime. Well, I seem to have forgotten my cast iron Dutch oven thing. So luckily in my little organizer drawer here, I do have a few things I can use. These are our fry pan stove covers. Nice simple closure, just give it a jerk. Easy to open. And this one's made for an 8-inch fry pan. So there right there. So I'll be using that to cook on. So I have my cast iron little personal size skillet here. I'm going to make me some hash browns. So need me a little butter in there. Tillamook cheese from Oregon. cheese. Butter. Butter. And there's some hash browns to go along with it. Let that thaw out just a little bit. Pretty frozen last night. There they are. Pretty much thawed out. A couple little chunks there. Plenty of butter in there. So plenty of butter on a medium heat over the fire should yield me some nice golden brown hash browns in about 7 or 8 minutes. All right. Looks like we're nicely browned on the bottom there. The trick is something I can never do. Flipping it over. I didn't do too badly that time. I got most of them turned over. It's my regular fire going over here. I want to build up a bed of coals because I'm going to cook something in the coals during the day while I'm doing some other stuff. There's our hash browns. I believe those are probably done. Alright, well, cut us off some sausage here. That is really hot right there on the coals. I can't put my hand over there. Burns it. Get a few of these and then guess I could go grab my knife, but you know, why do that? One more for the middle there, I think. Okay. Oh, there we go. A little bit of salt. I didn't salt the hash brown. I might as well do that while I'm at it. A little bit over my shoulder for good luck today. And then a little bit of some pepper. Hard to have too much, like I always say. Everything's done at my table here. My table is set. I think I'll just eat right out of that pan. I'm the only one here, so like, what does it matter, right? Yep, I'm gonna do it. Have a little something hot to drink as well. A little bit of ketchup. I should have brought some salsa, I guess, but I've been doing the ketchup thing all my life on the hash browns, so it ain't all bad, I'll tell you that much. There's some egg, a little bit, well, tiny bit runny, not too much. And some hash brown here. Now this is going to be sloppy right here. But with the scenery I'm eating in, who cares what's sloppy, right? It still looks good. Little egg, little sausage, little hash brown here. Man, it's beautiful. I could sit here and look at that forever. Trying to find little caves or little whatever, see if I can spot some Indian writing somewhere. There's plenty to do out here in the desert. One of them is relax. I'm out here by myself. I saw a couple trucks go by and that's it. It's great. All right, here's lunch. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. I've got rice in there, water, chicken, onions, butter, some spices. For that over like that. And I'm going to put some tin foil over that just to hold this on so it doesn't come off. All right, here goes nothing. I'm going to dig down these poles away here. And into something like that. All right, so I'm going to put the pan in, but I got to get the handle out because otherwise it'll melt the silicone grips. There we are. Man, I hope this doesn't just like burn to pieces here. All right. Well, I decided while the chicken is finishing cooking, I'd come up here and hike in the rocks up here. There's a couple of things I want to look at. That's one of the things when you're out here. There's also always something you see and you're like, I wonder what that is. So you got to go check it out. Hey, look at that. The Indians have been here. Look, they're making cordage. Actually, this stuff here was last year, about a year ago. I was up here and it had been raining. I came up in the shelter of this little cave and I twisted a rope, a fire starting rope. If you remember that video. So there's my remains. Nobody's used them yet. It's a nice little hike up here. Bouldering through all this rockfall. But it's quite a view. Looking up and down across the canyon. It's beautiful up here. I love it. And one thing that's important hiking up through these cliffs is looking back, making sure you know how to get down. I've got to go between those boulders that are lined up between my pickup down there. Problem is, if you try to come out the wrong way, it could be just a big cliff and you can't get down. So it could take you a lot of time searching around trying to find the right spot. Well, there's what looked like a cave from down at camp. And I get up here, kind of shallow, not shaped at all like it would really need to be a shelter, but from down on the ground, it looked like a real possibility. There's another one way over there. Doesn't have any roof on it though. And down there, the yellow, that's the PD shelter over the fire. Looking across through the valley, man. Beautiful, beautiful. I guess this is as high as I'm going. Oh well. I glassed it from my binoculars from across the valley a month or two ago. And I thought this is what it was, and it is. It's just kind of steep section right here. I was hopeful there'd be some little something I could just hop right up there. There's the whole valley. Clouds are coming in. Another snowstorm on its way. Well, I hate to admit it, but there is a mistake I made coming up here. The mistake is I should have grabbed at least my super ultralight poncho. Because with the storm coming in, if something were to happen, me twist an ankle or something, and maybe I couldn't get down before a storm rolled in with rain and snow and wind, at least I would be able to put that on me for protection. Even though we make ponchos, sometimes I forget to bring one when I should. So let that be a reminder. It can happen to anybody. Well, I'm a little thirsty. See if I can crunch this up into kind of a snowball or something I can put in my mouth. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with doing this. Better to hydrate than not. Although I chugged a big thing of water before I came up, it's not like I'm going to die out of them. I just feel thirsty. Well, look at that piece of rock right there, that boulder. Probably 500 pounder or so. It is literally, I've seen it from all sides now. That thing is literally sitting on about a 1 foot platform. And it looks like almost half of it is overhanging. It's not attached on the back. It's crazy. It's crazy how many rocks there is like that up here. It's amazing somebody doesn't get killed more often or something. Well, it's been more than 2 hours since I put this thing in the fire. So let's take a look at it and see what's happening. Well, I can smell something. Hope that's not the smelling of burning. It could be. That might be way too hot. These coals are still roasting. Slide this out of here. I have learned by sad experience, you gotta make sure you get all that off of there. Because you think you're just gonna lift that off of there and everything's gonna be honky-dory. It ain't happening. I hope I didn't burn it because that was gone longer than I planned. But wow. Well, it is a little toasty around the edge, but it's not burnt. I think we might be good. All right, so so look, we take that rice and flip it over. That is like hash browns. That's hash rice. Actually, when my mom used to make casseroles, I used to like the brown stuff on the edge. It's a little crunchy. It might be a little more crunchy than you'd like, but I was gone almost 3 hours. 2 hours and 45 minutes. I may have overdone the chicken though, but I don't know. Let's see. Well, whew. Imagine that, it's hot. Just got it off the fire. Hey Perry, it's hot. Good idea. No, the chicken is tender. The chicken is not dry. So, success, I believe. The rice is good. Whew. Wish somebody had told me this is hot. Anyway, so that's how I like to cook right there. I've done it before. Throw something in after breakfast, go do your thing, shoot some video, go on a hike, whatever. Come back and dinner is ready. I just noticed something when I put the fleece over top of, I put the fleece over the top like this, it kind of looks like Noah's Ark, right? And, well, I mean, you could use it even just to help hold a little more heat in. Just throw it over the top. It's just another tool. And I don't know if I told you this. This fleece here is Next Camo's Vista G1. That's what this is called.